Hey guys, what's up? It's Red, and it has been a million years. I have not posted a non-Bibliothon related video and I don't even know how long, and I'm sure some of you guys have noticed, maybe some of you haven't, maybe you're new here, but I want to talk about what's been going on, what's sort of behind my absence, what changes have occurred, and where I'm standing today. I will try and not make this video take a million years, but I do have a lot to cover with you guys, so thank you for hanging around, and I will just jump right into it. So I'll start at the beginning of where my absence started to occur and where I can really pinpoint the start of that absence. And I've talked openly on this channel about my struggles with depression and anxiety. I've even attempted to talk about the particular depression that I'm mentioning again, so I won't dwell too much on this because I have talked about it before, but I do want to talk about it because it's relevant. So I hit an episode of depression that was particularly severe even for me, and this lasted several months. It was the kind of depression where I don't even know how I forced myself to go to work some days. I think the only reason I was able to go to work and function at work is because it was the only sort of escape that I had, because it forced me to focus on something that wasn't everything going on in my head. Other than that, I really struggled to function with day-to-day tasks. I fell behind in my homework. If you didn't live or work with me, you didn't talk to me. I fell off the face of the planet. Even my Bibliothon girls, which if you guys don't know, I talk to them on a near daily basis and have for several years, and I just completely left the conversation. I couldn't even muster up the strength to be part of a general social conversation with people that I was very close to. It was really hard, and I just could not deal with the most mundane tasks, let alone filming for my channel. Even if I could muster up the courage to get in front of the camera when I had no motivation, I would have hated anything that I filmed. I would have just loathed it. And even when my depression started to lift, I found that I was struggling to get back in front of the camera, because you know how it goes. The longer you're away from something, the harder it is to start it back up. But it wasn't only that. It was the fact that I was in such a transitional period in my life, and I didn't know how to reflect that in my videos because I wasn't settled, and it was hard for me to have that creativity and the energy to put forth in my videos, because every time I tried, I hated what I was filming because it felt so forced. I even at one point posted a video trying to rebrand my channel, thinking that's what I needed to do. But that wasn't right either, because I didn't know exactly who I was or how I was feeling at this point. And it was coming across in my videos, so I was making a bunch of rash decisions on what to film and how to change things, and maybe I'll stop doing books and all kinds of craziness. None of it was working because I wasn't settled as a person at this point. It didn't help that my reading was severely lacking. I was slumping, I was stressed with school, and I was losing my passion for reading, which makes it extremely difficult when you have a channel based around books. In 2017, my depression episode was in the fall of 2016, I would say. In 2017, this last year, a lot of changes have occurred. Although I love my family and my friends, I was not happy with, I guess, the place that I was living. Not specifically my home, just the city, just the area. I felt like I was spinning my wheels. I felt like I wasn't moving forward. I felt like I was very stagnant in my life, and that was making me miserable. And I needed a change, and I needed a very dramatic change, and that's exactly what I got. So I was born and raised in California and lived there my entire life. I never really considered moving anywhere outside of California with the exception of one place, and I will talk about that in a minute. But I had visited, traveled other places, but California was my home. But the problem is that I was no longer happy with my home. The only other place in my entire life that I'd ever considered living was Seattle, Washington. I guess I've just had this weird sort of unfounded fixation with Seattle. Since I was a little kid, maybe 8 or 9 years old, I've just had this thing about Seattle, and I remember always feeling like that was the place that I was supposed to be. And sometimes it was a forgotten dream or a forgotten notion, but it was always kind of there. And I remember having conversations with my mom when I was a little kid saying I was going to live in Seattle one day. Never even been to the place, never been in this state, but that's what my little kid brain always told me. Who knows? About a 1.5 to 2 years ago, my brother, who I'm very close with, relocated to Seattle for work. And I remember at the time thinking, this is awesome. I mean, it wasn't awesome because I missed my brother, but awesome in the sense that he was living in a place that I was super excited to visit, and it was like, wow, okay, I get to finally see this place because my brother lives there and I have a reason to go. Well, I never visited, actually. He always came down and visited us, but I never actually went up to Seattle. Well, one of these times that he was visiting us, he and I sat down, and for whatever reason, we brought up a conversation of me moving up there. This was never previously discussed. We'd never talked about this. I think there had been maybe discussions in the very far future in a very vague sort of way, but no real concrete discussions. And in this one conversation, very short conversation in the middle of Costco, I believe it was, we had this conversation where, what if I came and we got a place together? And in that conversation, I didn't think twice about it. I've never even been to Seattle before, but I just said, yes, let's do it. I was in such a need of change that I didn't even care at this point. I didn't care. I just was so excited about this idea, and I'd never done anything like this. I'd never picked up and just moved my entire life where I know no one except one person. And within a very short period of time following that conversation, and I mean very short period of time, I basically picked up and left. It was that simple. I switched jobs, I switched schools, I switched everything. I uprooted my entire life to go someplace I'd never been to before. And I would be lying if I said there weren't moments of doubt that occurred, but those moments of doubt would come in after I was well already committed to this move. And in one, fell swoop, I moved to Washington, and that was that. I really do miss my family, and I really do miss my best friends, and that's the hardest part about that. But other than that, this has been a great experience, and I don't regret my move a second. I don't. It's beautiful here. I love this area. I love the culture here. It's just wonderful. I feel actually at home, and I never thought I would feel like that. I never had that feeling of this could be a forever place. I always felt very, I guess, nomadic in the sense that I always thought I would be the person that drifted from place to place but never really settled, because I never felt settled. And I feel more myself than I have, and I feel like as a result of making this change, that just in the short period of time of a year, I've grown so much into my own, and I actually feel like I'm making progress in my life, and I'm moving forward, and finally I see the light at the end of the tunnel that I didn't see before. I always felt that, yes, I had people in my life that loved me, and I was extremely appreciative of that, but I really struggled to see my future. I feel like it just looked bleak and dark and fuzzy, and now I feel like I have a chance because I'm happy. I guess that's it. Like, I'm happy. I still suffer from anxiety, and I still suffer from depression. That's not something that completely goes away. It is something that I will still struggle with and continue to struggle with. But I can't tell you how much easier it has been to deal with that, living in a place that I want to be and not having those outside circumstances feeding into that. And I've developed more healthy coping mechanisms. I was having trouble about whether I was even going to start my channel back up. I knew that part of me wanted to, but I didn't know how. And I still kind of don't know how. But I have started reading again. I've started liking reading again. And I've started to really, really miss being more active in this community and being more active on my channel. Like, I've genuinely started to miss it. And I am not posting this at the beginning of 2018 as some New Year's resolution, because I personally don't make New Year's resolutions, but because the timing now feels right. So recently, my friend Cassie from Miss Sassy Cassie, she had taken a break from BookTube. She didn't even know she was going to come back. And very, very recently in 2018, she decided to start her channel back up. She started feeling reinvigorated, and honestly, like, it was kind of inspiring to see somebody who was struggling with some of the same things that I was, and having her come back and just put herself out there, and that's extremely inspiring. I knew I didn't want to 100% quit this community because that didn't feel right either, and honestly, that just made me feel sad. I didn't know how to come back, and I'm hoping that this video will be the start of that. I'm sorry that this video is super rambly and long, but I just wanted to open up to you guys and talk about this and just let you know where I'm at. I'm not going to try and say that my channel is going to go in this direction, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that, and this, and this, and this. I'm not going to do that because I've tried doing that before and I failed, because in an attempt to not box myself in, I boxed myself in. So I guess I'm here and I'm going to say that I'm just going to see how it goes. I'm going to do what I feel. I think primarily I'm still going to talk about books, but if I feel like posting a makeup video once in a while, I'm going to post a makeup video because I can. But I think I have decided that I still will mostly focus this channel around books. But if I feel like including makeup videos, vlogs from time to time, I'm not going to prevent myself or feel like I can't. I'm just going to do what feels right. I'm going to play it by ear and just see how it goes and not put all the pressure on myself that I'm so used to applying. Anyway, thank you guys for hanging around. I don't really have too much more to say. This was kind of a long video, but thank you for hanging in there. And hopefully I will be seeing more of you guys soon. I miss talking to you guys, and I'll talk to you guys later.